So thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, well, I just couldn't help but do this because you guys have just released ever done before, and it's too good for people not to see and hear about. But they're also are very limited, and we want to talk about those a little bit further down. But I want to help people understand who the heck should even be looking at this, because the way we see it in our office. We have the mad keen music enthusiasts who knows they love music. They want to go to all the concerts they can go to, and they just consider themselves really in tune. Anytime a song comes on the radio, they can sing it or beat it out. They got their favourite artists. Then we have people that are curious. They have heard of cruises where you have music on them, and but they like music, but they probably may have gone to one or two concerts in their life, maybe a couple more, or they have a favourite artist that they will go to when he comes to or she comes to Australia. But outside of that, they're not all that sort of switched on to it. And then finally there's the people like myself who consider ourselves not to have any musical bones in our body. Wanting to get them though, so don't get me wrong. And wonder why we'd even want to consider this as an option of a holiday. So I'd love for you to just walk through each of those three categories and tell us why it works for each one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the great thing about our cruises is that they are a very inclusive environment for anybody on any type of, I guess you would say, category of music lover. You'd be very hard pressed to find somebody that doesn't like music. And even if they say that they don't like music, there's definitely somebody that has had a song or two in their head that they enjoyed in their lifetime. But the great thing about our cruises is, like you were saying, they are so different in so many different ways. And there are opportunities available for anybody that, even like yourself, doesn't necessarily have a music bone in your body, but you can enjoy the things that come with the music side of a music festival, especially on a cruise ship. So I think for starting off with the real music lovers, it really gives you an opportunity to have a bit of more of an immersive experience on a cruise, being able to travel with the bands that you know and love. You might have seen them before at concerts. Some people have even traveled across the country to see them, or even overseas to see an artist that is coming on board the cruises. But have you ever been on holiday with them? So that's something that is very different for our cruises compared to any other kind of musical holiday or even any other music festival, is that you do have the opportunity to have a more in-depth experience with the artist. So you're not just seeing them at a show and then going home afterwards. You're being able to have all these different experiences. We do offer things like meet and greet sessions where you actually can have a specific opportunity to actually have a chat and get something signed with the artist too, which is something that's really popular. But then at the same time, there's the things that aren't planned. So you never know who you might run into around the ship. You never know, you might sit next to down at one of the venues or down by the pool. So that's something that we can't necessarily control, but definitely something that a lot of our other previous passengers have said has been an absolute highlight. So I think for people that also, aren't necessarily infatuated with a certain performer, people that just enjoy music, it's a great all-rounded holiday for people who want to try something new, whether you've maybe been on a cruise before and you want to try something that has a bit of a theme to it. Say you like country music, but you've been on a cruise before. Well, the cruising country would be the perfect opportunity to try something new and enjoy a little bit of what we have to offer outside of the regular activities that come with a normal cruise. And then also for people who aren't really involved with the fun and excitement that comes with our music cruises, like I said, if you just want to try something new and it's something that you haven't really experienced before, it's a great opportunity to meet like-minded people that love music or might be on the same level as you and just want to try something new and enjoy the sights and sounds of a music festival at sea.
Yeah, what I would like to add to that, it's very common if you go to Melbourne a bit, you ask a taxi driver, not so much in recent years because a lot of them are Middle Eastern, but prior to that, if you ask them, final, or say Collingwood or something, oh, you would never been to a grand final then because they didn't get in it. I said, no, we go to that because we want the atmosphere. And I think personally that's what I get from you,
Definitely.
Music is almost a bonus. It's the atmosphere of being with all these similar-minded people, and then being open to learning something new about yourself and that sort of experience. And excuse me. And that's where I feel that's the big unspoken value, so to speak.
Oh,
okay,
absolutely. So many
what
things.
Is the main thing that makes?
Sorry?
But a delay. You go.
Oh, I was just saying, you're dead on about the atmosphere that you feel once you get on board. I think there's really something to say about gathering 2,000 music fans, whether they're avid lovers or are just people that, like you said, want to try something new and experience something different on board a cruise. It doesn't matter what level of music fan that you are, the fact that the second that you get on board, everybody has something in common, and that's a love for a specific type of music. So I think that that's something that we can't necessarily explain. It's something that you have to experience for sure.
So would it be fair to say these cruises, if you weren't a music lover but you ended up on one of these cruises because you thought, I might be interested, but it wasn't for you, the music side of it, you're still going to have a normal cruise experience, right? You're going to go to different places in the Pacific and
Absolutely.
shows are going to be on board.
Yeah, I mean, It's a common misconception that people seem to think that we either only have one concert a day on the cruise or that it's only music. That's not necessarily true. If you do feel that you want to have a little bit of time away from all the hustle and bustle of all of the shows around the ship, which I doubt many people would, but there's plenty of time to relax. There's all of the normal activities and inclusions that come with a regular Royal Caribbean cruise are also included on our cruises. It's just got that extra heightened amount of things added on board, which is the timetable of all of the entertainment that we put on each day on the cruise.
Cool. So what makes a music cruise so much different than a concert?
Well, I mean, we've been traveling around Australia advertising our cruises for the better part of the last decade, and we've learned a lot while we've been going to different music festivals like Tamworth and Cooley Rocks On and Gympie and everything in between. And one thing that we found, and it's not necessarily to say that music festivals on land aren't great, because they certainly are, but the good thing about our cruises is that you get to enjoy the luxury that comes with a regular cruise, like going on a Royal Caribbean cruise, but then you also get the added entertainment on board. So like you were saying about a taxi driver, you don't have to worry about getting to and from venues. You don't have to worry about parking. There's no designated drivers. The captain does that for you. And all of the venues are equipped to suit the music-themed cruises. Everybody gets a comfortable seat in the main theatre. You don't have to worry about standing up and having somebody stand in front of you or have to worry about those kinds of things. And I think also the comfort of knowing that everything's looked after for you. You don't have to, rough it out in a tent. You've got a cabin steward that will come and clean your room for you 2 times a day, and everything's in walking distance. You don't have to worry about, getting to and from all the places that you need to be at, and it's all organized for you. It's a fully rounded holiday and music experience.
So thank you for sharing that. One other thing, I don't know if we've covered or not, but if we have, then let me know. How many music, not necessarily concerts, but events could you attend on a ship in a given day, on a normal average day?
On a day at sea, there's obviously a lot more opportunity to have different artists perform around the ship. So say, for instance, on a day at sea, We have 6 venues on board. So we have the Aurora Theatre, which is the main headliner theatre where you'll see all of the big acts perform throughout the cruise. And then we've also got venues like the Colony Club, which is a large cabaret style theatre with a huge dance floor and lots of seating space at the back of the ship. We've got the Quill and Compass English themed pub. We've got the pool deck, which we have concerts throughout the day while everybody's enjoying the sun and having a bit of a swim. And then we've also got the Schooner Bar, which is more of like a late night pub atmosphere. That's something that is really popular on board our cruises because it's more like the late night jam spot. So a lot of the artists, after they've knocked off for the day, will actually come and hang out, and you never know who might get up and do a song with some of the artists that are playing that night. And then we've also got the nightclub upstairs, which we have specified themes throughout the cruise too. So on a normal day at sea, there can be upwards of 40 or 50 different things to see and do around the ship. And throughout the cruise itself, we put on about 300 shows per cruise. So there's a lot to do and there's a lot to see. And the reason why there's so much going on is you might not necessarily be able to see every single show. So a lot of the artists do perform numerous times around the ship. So you do get that opportunity to see everybody at least once.
Right, cool. Thank you. Okay, let's move on quickly because we want to get down to the deal. In fact, that's where we're at. So why the flash sale? And what does it mean? And tease me up with some pricing.
All right, so regularly, one of our cruises, we are a little bit more higher in the price point to your regular discounted cruises because we do have all of this extra entertainment on board. And I'm sure you can understand the caliber of the artists that we book on board does cost a lot of money to organize. So we do have an incredible sale going on for anybody that's been considering one of our cruises that might not necessarily be able to afford it. You can get on board for 50% off. So it's a half price sale, and that's only available for this week. It's a flash sale. It's never to be repeated, and it's definitely something to look into. So depending on which cruise you're interested in, we have Cruising Country 2018, and that one starts at $1,299 per person twin share. And that includes all of your entertainment on board, all your accommodation and everything else that comes with a regular cruise, like your port fees and gratuities and taxes. So pretty much everything's looked after for you. We also have Rock the Boat 2018, which is featuring Foreigner. That's on the 21st to the 28th of October. And that one is starting at $1,247 per person twin share. And then we also have Cruising Groove, Elvis Meets the Legends, and that one's in November. So that one's from the 6th until the 13th of November this year. And the pricing for that one starts at $1,250 per person. So it's an incredible deal to get on board.
You could eat that much without worried about accommodation even.
If you put up all of the costings of that doesn't even cover, accommodation and food on a regular holiday. So it's an incredible price, and considering all of the amazing artists that we have on board, it's definitely something to take advantage of if you've been thinking about either coming on board one of our cruises and you haven't necessarily thought to book yet, or if you haven't thought about booking on one of our cruises, you can definitely take advantage of this and try it out. And you never know, it might be something that you fall in love with and you want to do it every year.
Yeah, well, you do have a high repeat client base, I'm told, because of it becomes like an event, a social event where you meet people, and then you got to meet up with them next year, same time, same channel, for a week of music, celebration, and fun. So it's great.
That's
right. So, what should somebody do if they are interested? What's the best move? And
I would definitely recommend, because this offer is only available for all bookings made from until the 11th of August. So there's not much time left. And as I'm chatting to you now, John, these rooms are currently available, but once they're gone, and these rates have been so incredibly popular. So I would definitely recommend for anybody that's been thinking about it or wants to make a booking to contact yourself or anybody at the team at Travel with Purpose, and they'll be able to look after you and put the booking through and help you out with any other questions that you might have along the way too.
Well, that'll be cool. All right, well, thank you for doing your first webinar. It's not really the traditional webinar, but hopefully we have helped somebody determine whether it's a good idea to do a music cruise or not. And
I hope so too.
And that's mission accomplished.
Yes, and if it works, we can keep doing them.
Well, beautiful. Let me go. Bang. Okay, you're still end of